Hey guys, Chloe here. So today I have a few figures that have been delayed for months now, but they're finally here and I'm so excited to open them up, so let's get right into it. So first up we have this Racing Miku 2021 Nendoroid. I think she was actually released in Japan in October of last year, but since I got her from Good Smile US, I didn't receive her until just recently. So she shipped out early April and arrived mid to late April. So that's like a 6-month delay from Japan's original release date. I wasn't in any rush to receive her, which is kind of why I got her from Good Smile US. So I didn't really mind waiting for her, but at the same time, 6 months is a pretty long time to wait, you know? But yeah, anyways, this is my very first Racing Miku figure in general, and I think she turned out very nicely. I'm very glad I picked her up, but I did have some issues with her. Some of her parts are kind of, I guess, fragile. I was kind of scared that I would snap some of them when I was taking her apart to put her in the car. Even putting her in the car when I was trying to take out, I guess, one of the joints, it was like really stuck in there and I had to use pliers to get it out. But luckily I managed to get her in the car without breaking any parts, and she is totally not texting and driving because I forgot to take out her phone. But yeah, I'm so glad I got her and she looks so great. So next up we have the 1/7 scale figure of Chen from Arknights by Apex. I think this figure holds the record for most delayed figure in my collection. So I got her off Tom because I had points, I think, and used that towards her to lower the price. So she originally released in Japan in, I think, August of last year. And she was supposed to release somewhere between then and like January after a few delays, but she ended up getting delayed some more until she finally released in, I think, April. So it was like an 8 months delay. Not sure if it was worth the wait, but for the price I paid, it was pretty decent. I think it was still a bit cheaper than pre-owned at the time. So here is the base for the figure. It looks very cool. It has a very sick design on it, as well as a texture feel to it, which I really like. Getting Chen onto the base was very simple as well. You just slide her in onto the metal pegs, which go in really smoothly, and then gently press down a bit to make sure she's in all the way. And then next up we have her 2 swords. So the red one you just kind of slide into the sheath in the back and connect the peg on it onto her hand, so it looks like she's about to pull it out. And then the other sword, I kind of got confused at first because the way I slid it in the first time, it was like she's holding the blade part, but I think that's how it's supposed to be, even if it's a little weird. But yeah, that's what I went with. And here is Chen fully assembled and looking very cool. I picked her up from Tom for about $120 after using some points. And while Chen is like one of the more simpler looking Arknights figures out there, she is still pretty nice. I wouldn't pay, I guess, like her retail price as much as I love her, because there are, you know, better figures out there that you could get for $200 if you're buying from US stores. But talking more about this figure, I just think everything about it is pretty well done. I think the sculpt is pretty much perfect. All the Apex figures that I've gotten so far have been amazing. I also really love the details on her, like her clothing. We have like the sheer plastic for her t-shirt, and I love the use of the silver metallic paint on her clothing as well as the metal parts. I think it gives a nice contrast to the rest of her outfit, which is very dark, black and like a really dark blue. So yeah, overall I think this Chen looks very cool, and after waiting 8 months, I'm glad she's finally in my collection. So this next figure wasn't really delayed all that much, but this is the 1/7 scale Shiromuku version of Emilia from ReZero. So the other 2 figures so far have been from the US, I guess, warehouse or branch, right? So I expected them to get some delays, but this Emilia figure actually shipped from Tom's Japan warehouse, which, based on my past experiences from figures being shipped from their Japan warehouse, there wasn't much of or any delays from what I remember. But yeah, I think this figure actually released in February, but it got delayed just 1 month, which wasn't a big deal. But I just thought I'd mention it in case people, I guess, were ordering from Tom, banking on the idea that ordering figures from their Japan warehouse meant that it wouldn't be delayed. Yeah, there is a possibility that it will get delayed. I guess it just depends on the situation. So here's the base for the figure. It's relatively simple. It's a big white circle, but I do love the gold on it. I think it looks really nice, and it is a bit textured as well, which is always welcome. Getting Emilia onto the base was pretty simple as well. You just slide in the pegs on her shoes into the holes on the base. You kind of have to gently press down a bit to make sure that it's in all the way, but other than that, it's very straightforward. There's also a small plastic tab that you slide under one of the dress folds. I wasn't really sure which one to put it under, so I just put it under, I guess, the one that was touching the base most. So it was just the innermost one that was closest to the base. And of course, we have our very fancy golden fan. This one you just kind of slide into her right hand and hope it stays, I guess. You're just kind of fitting it in until she just kind of holds it. Oh man, okay, so here is the gorgeous Emilia, fully assembled. This is the 1/7 scale figure by Furyu. This is the Shiromuku version. So I ordered her from Tom for about $180, which isn't the best price, but it isn't the worst. You can find her for cheaper now on pre-owned, I believe, for AB condition. But honestly, I love Emilia so much. I had to have her. Oh man, she is so pretty. I mean, just look at her. Oh, her face is so pretty. It does look a little different from Emilia, but even so, I think it still looks really great. I think the best part of this figure though, and I guess the whole point of it, is her outfit. Man, I am so blown away by how nice it is. Like, even from the pictures, I knew it would be beautiful, but seeing it in person is like so much nicer. The texture, the pattern, the pearlescent shine on it, everything about it is beautiful. I love it. Her headpiece is also really nice. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I don't really have much complaints on it. I think if I had to pick like the worst part of this figure, it would probably be Puck. He does look he's a little more rough. I do like the addition of the crystal though. The green gem does have importance to the character, so yeah, love to see it. I have quite a few scale figures of Emilia, but I think this figure is definitely up top. Very beautiful figure. And before I forget, here is Amelia with her headpiece on. I won't be displaying her with it on because I do want to see her face, and wearing the headpiece does block most of her face. So yeah. And our last figure for this video is this giant 1/7 scale figure of Elena from Wandering Witch. She is very nicely packaged. This is from Tom. So yeah, she's covered in bubble wrap. So I did pick up the deluxe version of this figure, mainly because I really like the base and the cat that follows her. So she originally released in Japan in October of last year, but because I got her from Tom and I think they were shipping from their US warehouse, she didn't ship out until mid-April, and I didn't get her until I think late April to early May. So it was about a 6 months delay from the original release date in Japan. Just want to quickly show you guys the inside of the box because it's pretty cute. And we have an instruction sheet. Probably won't be needing this. And here we have the base. It's basically a cobblestone sidewalk. I absolutely love it. It's very unique to the figure. Yeah, I think the favorite part of this though is the metal fence with the flower pots on it. I think that one's what really sold me on the deluxe version, to be honest. And you just kind of slide it in like so. It's very easy to get in. Just make sure that it's facing the right way with the flower pots facing outwards. And here's Elena herself. She looks great just from a quick look over. She does have a nice weight to her, which I like, and it kind of makes her feel a little bit more premium that way. I read that there was some issues with like getting her onto the base. Like I guess like the pegs weren't in the right place on the base, so you couldn't really slide her in. Either that or like guess the distance was a little too far for the pegs to go into the foothold, but luckily I didn't have that problem here, so it was just kind of like making sure it was in enough so that she was secured. And over here we have the little cat that is following Elena. It was very easy to put onto the base. And for the broomstick, you just get one end and you just kind of align it to the hole in her hand. Just rotate it a few times until it looks right is basically what I did. Yeah. And for this end, so we have a bit of a problem. The broom head won't go in into the other end because it's actually missing a part. As you can see here, that hole is way too big for that end of the broomstick. There should be like something else at the end of the broom head. The little tuft at the end should be there, but unfortunately it looks like I got a defective figure, as you can see here on the unopened box. This is footage from earlier before I opened the box. You can see from, yeah, it's just missing it. This is so tragic. I have contacted Tom about this. Luckily they did reply and say that they would contact Belfine, but I had to wait like 2 weeks. I don't know what I will do if Belfine doesn't have any solutions for this, because this has been out in Japan since like October or something, and it's like already May. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this figure, because just her holding a stick isn't really nice to look at, and I don't know how else I would attach that broom head because I tried using putty but it wouldn't stick. So this figure was almost $200 on Tom. I only paid $100 after points. But for such an expensive figure, I would have expected better quality control from Belfine. The quality of the figure itself is really nice. I think it's well made, but unfortunately, I guess quality control has been an issue with this figure, whether it was the base and the foot not attaching to the base, and in my case, the broom head missing a part that attaches to the stick. It's just sad seeing Elena, a witch, just holding a stick. It's very unfortunate and disappointing. Alright, so before we end this video, these are the Tom inserts. So here we have a postcard with the Tom Ninja, got 2 of them. And then Miku clear file, which I love. I think it looks really cool, and I just love it when Tom gives us clear files. Alright, and so that is the end of this video. Lots of new nice figures, very pretty, very cool. Unfortunately, we did get a defective one with the Elena deluxe version. Very unfortunate indeed. I am working with Tom to kind of get it sorted out. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I'll let you guys know in, I guess, a couple of weeks. The Shiromuku Amelia exceeded my expectations, and Chen was cool as always. And of course, we have the Racing Miku, my very first one, looking very cute in her car. I'm glad I picked her up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.